my brothers, and especially our honored guests. Welcome to all you guys who are here for Team Vianney. We're thrilled that you're here. It's going to be a great evening ahead of us. So, back in 2002, a young seminarian named Quinn Mann was sitting in adoration, and into his heart popped to encounter Jesus Christ and foster Catholic Christian community through expedition retreats of prayer, proclamation of the gospel, and outdoor adventure, all at once. He wrote it down, and it soon became his mission statement. He soon after that invited 7 of his friends to go camping. They spent a weekend out in God's creation, camping, praying, and hiking, and the camp ministry Catholic Youth Expeditions was born. Since then, God has literally multiplied 100-fold what Father Quinn started. This past summer, CYE served over 700 youth and young adults that came up to visit the retreat. So I met Father Quinn way back in 2006. I had just joined the Catholic Church along with my family, and I met him right before he became a transitional deacon. After he was ordained a priest, he was assigned to my home parish as associate pastor, and he soon got me to come on my first Catholic Youth Expedition. Since it's not my vocation story, I'll just say the rest is history, and I kept going on retreats until I joined staff after my senior year of high school, and it has been my second home ever since. I could go on for a long time about all the things that make Father Quinn my priest hero, but in the interest of time, I'll narrow it down to one. Through his incredible trust in God, rooted in his deep prayer life, Father Quinn has taught me to get out of the way so that the spontaneous love of God can shine through unimpeded. I really love reflecting upon God's spontaneity. It's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. It's what all of us want to have, and it's what God wants to give all of us, but it is so contrary to how most young people describe their faith life. So what gives? Therese of Lisieux said that the only people who can experience God's spontaneous love are the poor, the childlike, the simple. That's because everybody else is to attach their own agenda. In order to experience God's spontaneous love, we have to trust him to such an extent that in order to fulfill the promises he has made to us, he has to manifest his love in radical ways. Father Quinn exhibits this faith all the time. There have been many times where all of us thought we were toast and little miracles came through to save the day, most of which involve our crappy old buses. One time the very next day we were supposed to take a group of high schoolers up on an expedition, and we didn't have enough room on our bus. So Father Quinn came up to us and said, "Guys, we need another bus. You have to start praying." Okay. So he started praying. That afternoon, he got a call from his good priest friend and co-founder of CYE named Father Luke Strand. Father Luke said, "Hey, the school down here is selling a bus for really cheap. Do you want it?" Yes. Problem solved. Another time, Father Quinn took all the women to a beach to go swimming, and he was going to come back by all the men, but he heard something going on with the bus. He realized something was really wrong, so he drove it a half hour to the repair shop. The guys said, "It's a miracle that you actually got here. We're going to need to keep it for a few days." And he had to get back up and pick up the women, and he had no way to get there. Suddenly, a random guy who he had never seen before drove up on a moped, said, "Hey, do you need a bus?" Yes. Once again, problem solved. He hopped on the back of the guy's moped, went flying up Highway 57, got in the guy's bus, and was just in time to pick up the women. One more amazing thing that has happened is the retreat center that CYE now calls home. It used to be the novitiate and retreat center for an order of priests called the Priests of the Sacred Heart, and they finally decided that they no longer had the means to keep it running, so the only thing they could decide to do was lease it to the Diocese of Green Bay for $1 a year for 5 years. The diocese, in turn, leased it to CYE for $1 a year for 5 years. It's a roughly $1.5 million, 7.5-acre property on a lake in beautiful Door County, Wisconsin, and we got it for $5. Not a bad deal. By far, though, the most amazing manifestation of the Lord's love working through Father Quinn is all of the hearts that CYE has touched. Up to this point, I can think of at least 10 women who have discovered their vocation to religious life through CYE, and at least twice that many men who have discerned the call of the priesthood through CYE, myself included. And that's just the beginning. It seems like not an expedition goes by without some high school or young adult standing up and saying something like, I came here an atheist and I'm leaving Catholic, or I haven't been to confession since my first confession, and I went this week and it was amazing. Hearts change constantly, and it's all due to Father Quinn's incredible trust rooted in his deep prayer life that's open to the spontaneous love of God. So if I had to sum up what Father Quinn has taught me in a couple sentences, it would be, if God throws you a curveball, don't whine and complain about how you weren't expecting it and don't know what to do now. Just start swinging and see what happens. Praise be Jesus Christ.